Forewarned weather with Ashlee Baracy.
Well, given that we're in a pretty quiet stretch around here, let's start with the tropics as we continue to track Hurricane Erin, bringing tropical storm warnings still throughout a good portion of the East Coast. So stretching from the North Carolina, that is, all the way up towards New York, so the Jersey Shore. Tracking the tropics, so winds right now for Hurricane Erin sustained at 105 miles per hour, but gusts are around 125, and that movement has been picking up in pace a little bit. Moving to the northeast now at about 17 miles per hour. So the eye of the storm will steer clear of the U.S., but we're dealing with the outer bands. However, as it now pushes more to the northeast, that's going to continue to weaken in the cooler open water of the Atlantic. But check out this map. The yellow that you see here indicates the tropical storm force winds, just how massive this hurricane is. And so those outer bands will continue to be pressing along North Carolina into the afternoon today, but it will be moving out of North Carolina and then pressing up towards Boston as we head into Friday. By the time we get to Saturday, that's when we really will start to see the difference as this moves out to the northeast. But we're not done with tropical systems quite yet. In fact, we're not even to the peak of hurricane season. Right now, we are keeping a very close eye on this disturbance out here. And so about a 70% chance of that turning into a cyclone within the next 7 days. In fact, by the time we get to about Friday, you'll likely see that being a tropical depression. So bringing it back closer to home, we talked a lot about the tropics, but it doesn't feel very tropical around here. In fact, we are now getting into one of the 12 seasons, I would like to call it, false fall. And so we usually get a little taste of that cool down before second summer arrives. And so if you're not liking the cooler conditions that are ahead, don't worry, we'll likely get another warm up before we officially get into autumn. But your temperature outlook showing a very big drop in temperatures to round out the month of August and still slightly below average through the Labor Day holiday. Live look outside right now, cloudy skies, but those clouds will break. 67 degrees in Detroit, 65 in Ann Arbor and Pontiac, and 68 in Monroe. And we're holding on to a light northerly breeze. So this afternoon, plan for upper 70s, flirting with 80, and we do get a little more sunshine for the second half of the day. Temperature-wise, we'll be right where we should be pretty much through Saturday, but a cold front does sweep through, bringing a slight chance for rain late Saturday and a cooler air mass by Sunday. So we drop below average to about 77, and that is just the beginning of that downward slide. So here's the cold front as you see it sweeping through Saturday, and just along it, we could see some development of some rain into the later part of the evening after sunset, and a lot of that should be out of here by daybreak on Sunday, meaning it's not a weekend washout. So if you are traveling up north, just note that you could encounter some of the rain here close to home. Our best chances come Saturday evening, but just a quick look up towards Alpena. If maybe you have a place up there, we could fall into the upper 60s by Sunday. And here close to home, low 70s in the forecast for early next week with those overnight lows in the low 50s.
Forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
Montessori Local 4. We got you.
But that is impressive because, you know, sometimes you talk about construction delays and all that. I mean, they like stuck to it to get it done in time for the new school year. And
Utica School District is awesome. My kids went to, my older, I got to specify, older kids went to Utica School District.
Which generation of your kids?
You started
over? What a sucker.
Yeah, I wonder who else would do something like that.
Oh, wait, who else did that?
Yes.
Let's get the weather.
We're the lucky ones.
We're suddenly changing the subject.
That's wonderful.
In fact, speaking of girl dads, we have a cool segment that's coming up. For
this.
How to do your daughter's hair. And you're going to want to stick around for that.
See if I still have the skills, which I don't know if I do.
Well, if Darnell's hairdo has any indication of how his skills are, that might be
one girl, thank God, over here. One girl.
No, but that'll be a great segment. I'm looking forward to that. And we do have more back-to-school type of weather in the forecast as we look ahead. But I first want to start with what's happening in the tropics because it's such a quiet, calm stretch here for the next couple days that this is going to be the most active part of your weather headlines. So for the tropics, we are tracking Hurricane Erin, Category 2 hurricane, and at this hour, still tropical storm warning stretching along the eastern seaboard from the Jersey Shore down into the Outer Banks. Now for North Carolina, you're going to start to see these winds retreat today as it pushes farther north, but Virginia Beach will be in the path. So if you do have any travel plans over the next day or two, maybe like just squeezing in one more vacation before school starts, well, hopefully it's not off to the east because we'll definitely be dealing with the inclement weather for at least the next 48 hours or so. Storm surge risk, and so as you see here, About 3 feet is the tallest surge that we're looking at, but it's going to be these tropical storm force winds that will be bringing the biggest impact. And so all the yellow that you see here, that indicates those tropical storm force winds in which gusts could be around 60 miles per hour along the east coast there. But the hurricane force winds are closer to the eye, and that's still in the open water. This will take a more of a northeasterly turn within the next day, and then that'll push out into the cooler open waters, in which cooler water will dissipate that hurricane. They grow in size and strength when you have the warmer water. However, we're not in the clear quite yet because we do have a 70% chance of seeing this disturbance out into the Atlantic become a cyclone within the next 7 days, likely a tropical depression within the next 48 hours. And so we'll continue to keep you updated on that, as we aren't really even to the peak of hurricane season yet. Downtown Detroit, clouds are already breaking, so that's great news on this Thursday morning. 67 degrees in the city, 66 in Ann Arbor and Pontiac, and 68 in Monroe, with a northeasterly wind right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So throughout the rest of the day, we top out in the upper 70s and we hold on to a little sunshine throughout the day. It'll be nice, pleasant, low humidity, but we will hover around the average mark through Saturday. However, what will be rising will be the humidity as we head into Saturday. Cold front sweeps in, and so that'll push that humidity out, but temperatures will begin to fall Sunday and beyond. Speaking of beyond, check out the end of August, well below average with those temperatures, likely about 10 degrees below average. And then as we stretch this all the way out to the beginning of September, through our Labor Day holiday, will likely be below average as well. So it all starts with this cold front as you see how it crosses lower Michigan, and I will stop the clock right around 10:30, and it does bring a little bit of rain to our area Saturday night going into Sunday morning. So here's the good news. Times out well as far as if you have outdoor activities. It'll be after sunset before daybreak, and so we'll just have to wait and see how that Sunday shapes up, but I think it should be rather dry. It will be cooler, 77, but you notice the difference early next week. Highs low 70s, and those overnight lows will be crisp. We're talking low 50s. Darnell, could it be Sweater weather?